up being a manager's table, which was unfortunate because they were a lot of fun except for the one woman. She complained about everything. Her food was overcooked, undercooked, too soggy, too juicy, didn't look like the pictures. There was one time where she ordered the surf and turf and we had right beside it, ask the price of this if it's in season, and she didn't ask us the price of it, which if you're not going to ask, I'm not going to tell you because you're sitting here saying that you can afford it anyways. She complained about the fact that the lobster was too much, so then she got the lobster for free after eating all of it. And then she would complain about her drinks. She would order her margarita with salt on the rim and then say, hey, I want sugar after she's drinking half of it. And then she would say, oh, I actually want tahini. And she would end up getting all of this stuff for free. And you could tell that her friends were so embarrassed by her. Their faces would get beat fucking red whenever she would sit there and complain about something. She would dump her side of corn onto her plate and then complain about the fact that the corn juice was touching the food. Leave it in the side bowl and it's not touching anything. Anyways, they ended up being a manager's table, which means the manager goes over, takes the order. They go through the whole spiel. They make sure everything is like down to a T. You know what I mean? What is the phrase? Dot your I's and cross your T's. They would sit there and they would be like, this is how you want it cooked. Are you sure? This is what you want. This is the price. Are you sure? Over and over and over again. It got to the point where she eventually started complaining about what the managers were doing. You're asking too many questions. You're not doing this right. This doesn't look right. Whatever it was that she could complain about to try to get her meal for free. It eventually got to the point where my manager was like, you obviously don't like our food. You're just not happy here. We're going to have to ask you guys not to come back to the restaurant. Like, you're not welcome here anymore. You're costing us way too much money. The entire friend group was like, what the fuck? Like, there's just no way we're being banned from this restaurant. So they all leave. This girl's throwing a fit about what a horrible customer experience it was, all this stuff. This was like maybe a year in the making of having to deal with this woman. And then one of her friends comes back in maybe 2 or 3 days later and she's like, hey, I know that we were banned from this, but is it all of us or just her? Because we absolutely love this restaurant and we would hate to not be able to come back here. Which the friends were not banned. She was banned and they would still come in and have girls' night at the restaurant, but not with the friend who constantly had to complain about stuff. Anyways, that was gross behavior and I was not sad when she went away. I was sad when it was a manager's table though because they were really good tippers.